Hi everybody, it's Miss Betty and I'm still cooking on Farm Ridge and I'm going to cook some collard greens that I've already cut up and washed, and this is quite a few collards, more than you will probably ever cook, but I am cooking these for a couple of people. So I have a whole dish pan of collard greens, and I do have a video on my channel of how to pick and cut your collard greens. It was back in the day before I got, I wasn't as good as I am now. I'm better. And my video wasn't quite as precise, so I thought this would be a good time to show you um, again how to cook the collard greens. So I already got this pot of meat cooking. I have in this pot some smoked turkey and a little diced onion, and it's ready. It's at a boil, and I'm going to start adding some collard greens just so that you can see how to season these. And I may not be able to get all these in this pot, but I actually need to stand on the other side because you don't have to see me. But if you can see me, that's fine. Okay? So we're going to take collard greens and we're going to start adding them in the pot. I'll turn the camera a little bit. Maybe you can see. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're just going to stuff this roaster. And this is a roaster. And as I put them in, I'm going to keep mashing them down. It's a lot of collard, you guys. I bought a whole case yesterday, and it actually had like 30 bunches in it. So I'm going to cook these, and we're going to just divide them with some other people that wanted me to cook collard greens for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right there because that's really a pot of turnip greens. And if you were going to cook a pot, that's probably about as much as you would need. So let me step back on this side. And I'm going to start showing you how to season these bad boys. Okay? So, just like when I get my string beans, we're going to add some oil in our beans. And, oh, here's my cup. All right. Just so you won't think I'm putting too much in there, I am going to, I always use canola oil when I'm seasoning. Some people still use vegetable oil, but canola oil is a little bit more healthy. So I'm going to put like 1/4 of a cup of oil, and I'm going to pour them in the greens. Going to sprinkle some black pepper, and this is going to be the equivalent of a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm also going to do the same thing with my seasoning salt. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. It's what I always say, sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. That means I sprinkle like about 3 times, okay? And then with my salt, I'm going to just go sprinkle, sprinkle. And it's not coming out that good because it's the coarse kosher salt, but I do like it, okay? I also found this stuff at the store. It's called green seasoning. This is really awesome, you guys, and I like it. So we're going to put some of that in our greens. Just more seasoning. The more seasoning, the better your greens will taste. These greens are seasoned. But I have one more little secret. And this is some chicken bouillon cube. You might want to put this in your greens. So let me bring it a little closer. It's a box that comes with about, it's got 8 packages. But you put some of that in your greens. Just sprinkle it all around. And those are the things that's going to make your greens taste good, because you do want your food to be highly seasoned. And of course, you know I always have my pepper sauce that I've made. So we're going to pour a little pepper sauce in there. And this is a lot, that's a lot of greens, so I'm going to add, my peppers are already cut up when I put them in my jar. So about this much pepper. And then as my greens continue to cook, I want to continue to mash them down. Greens are not hard to cook. It's just a lot of work. So I'm not going to buy them frozen. I'm not going to eat them out the can, so they got to be fresh. So can you see what I'm doing? Turn it around just a little bit. There we go. That's good. So you want to continue to mash your greens down. And again, on an ordinary day, you would not be cooking this many greens. Only I am cooking this many greens today. Okay? I've already seasoned them, put the lid on them, let them come down and strike a boil. And it will probably take these greens a couple of hours to cook, and then they will be done. So until then, I just showed you a really nice little short video of how to cook greens. And these are collard greens. It doesn't make any difference whether they're collards or mustard. We cook them all the same. They're all in the same family of greens. So this is Miss Betty on Fine Rich today, and I'm going to cook some collard greens, and then I'm going to call these people to come pick them up because they need to come and pick them up. You have a great day. Okay, so I went off camera a little bit because I wanted to finish putting my greens in the pot. I wanted you to see what it looks like. Because even though you won't be cooking this many greens, hopefully you'll still have a pot full. So as your greens start to cook, you want to continue to just push them down. Push them down. I've already seasoned them because I was taught to season my greens halfway in the middle and to keep turning them over. My aunt used to always say, after those greens cook, you flip them over. So what I've done is I've seasoned my greens already with some canola oil. I also use seasoning salt. I use black pepper. I also use my kosher salt. Can you see that? I love this kosher salt. This is the coarse kosher salt. And then, of course, I told you I found this amazing seasoning. It's called green seasoning. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I first started using this, which has been now, I bet you, a good 5 or 6 years, it said green seasoning, and I read the back. And I don't know if they meant the kind of greens that we cook, but I use it, and it worked. And now I can't cook my greens without it. I absolutely got to have it. I have a chicken bouillon pack. It comes in a package. Well, it comes in the box. And you get about 8 of these little packages. So what you do is you add one of these. If you're just cooking a small amount of greens, then you might only want to use a half of these. A half of this, I'm sorry. And that makes it good. And of course, I always add my homemade pepper sauce to my greens. So what I've done is I got my greens done. Well, I got them in the pot. They're not done. But I just wanted to show you one more time how to prepare your greens. You can use ham hock. You can use turkey. You can use smoked neck bones. And what I've done today is I only have turkey in these greens because these greens are for somebody else. So when I cook on Fun Ridge, I don't only cook for myself. I cook for whoever asks me. I used to cook more back in the day, but now not so much. Not so much. So these greens will be ready here shortly. Let's get the camera back around. And I'll just keep on pushing them down, so they start cooking. And another little thing that I like to use in my greens, let's see if I can find it. I was looking for it earlier, but I couldn't find it. But I do sometimes put some red pepper flakes in my greens. So it just depends on how spicy you want your food. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go and buy you some collard greens. Um, Go to my other video if you don't know exactly how I did it. And you're going to take your greens. You got to take them off the stem. You got to roll them and cut them up. Then you got to wash them. And then they're ready for the pot. And there you go. And now you can have collard greens for your Thanksgiving dinner. And it's okay to cook these ahead because you can always freeze them. Some people blanch them a little bit and maybe finish them on Thanksgiving Day, but I do cook mine all the way, okay? So again, today on Farm Rich, I just showed you once again how to cook your greens. So don't make no excuses. You get out there and you get this Thanksgiving ready to roll, because this is Miss Betty and I have been cooking on Farm Ridge. All right, I wanted to pop back on for a second before I end the video to let you know that this is what your greens look like once they began to cook down. As you can see, this is not the roaster that I started them in, because once they cook down, then they also condense. So this is really a full pot of greens, but it's not what we started out with. So if you want to have a pot of greens, say, and you have 10 bunches of greens, I would probably tell you that you need to buy 20 bunches so that your pot will be overflowing like this. So this is Miss Betty on Farm Ridge. So you have fun cooking your greens. Make sure that you make your dish your own. Add your own seasonings. Use whatever meat you choose. And you are the person that is controlling your dish. Have a great day. This is Miss Betty on Farm Ridge.